Here's a question that breaks most people's brains. The Federal Reserve prints money, trillions of dollars. They create it out of nothing. Just numbers on a computer screen. No gold backing it, no assets backing it, no one deposited anything. They just create it. In 2020 and 2021, the Federal Reserve created $6 trillion. $6 trillion. Out of thin air, they didn't mine it, they didn't earn it. They didn't borrow it from anyone, they just made it appear on a computer. But here's the problem. Every dollar bill in your wallet says Federal Reserve note at the top. A note is a debt instrument, it's a promise to pay. When you sign a promissory note for a car loan, you're promising to pay the bank back. That note represents debt, which means every dollar in existence is technically debt. Someone owes that dollar to someone else. So if the Federal Reserve creates dollars out of thin air, and those dollars are debt, who does the Federal Reserve owe the money to? Think about it. They created it from nothing. There was no lender. No one gave them money to lend out. They just made it appear. So who is the creditor? If dollars are debt instruments, and the Fed created them, who does the Fed owe? The answer should be simple, but it's not. Because when you understand how this actually works, you realize the entire monetary system is designed to transfer wealth from you to private banks. The Federal Reserve doesn't owe the money to anyone, but the United States government owes the money to the Federal Reserve, which is owned by private banks, which means your government borrows money that was created from nothing and pays interest on it forever to private banks. And you pay that interest with your taxes. It's the greatest scam in financial history, hidden in plain sight, running for over 100 years. And most people have no idea it exists. This is the story of how money is actually created, who really controls the Federal Reserve, and why the national debt can never, ever be repaid. Because if it was, there would be no money. The system is designed to require permanent debt and permanent interest payments from you to private banks. Before we answer who the Fed owes money to, you need to understand what the Federal Reserve actually is. Because everything you think you know is probably wrong. Most Americans believe the Federal Reserve is part of the government. A government agency like the Treasury Department or the IRS. It's not. The Federal Reserve is a private banking cartel. It was created in 1913 by the Federal Reserve Act. And it was designed by bankers, for bankers, to give them control of the money supply. Here's the structure. The Federal Reserve System consists of 12 regional Federal Reserve banks. New York, Chicago, San Francisco, Philadelphia, Boston, and 7 others. Each of these 12 banks is a private corporation, not government agencies, private corporations. They have shareholders, and those shareholders are private commercial banks. J.P. Morgan Chase owns shares of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. So does Citibank, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley. The largest banks in America are literally shareholders in the Federal Reserve. They own it. Now there's also a board of governors in Washington, D.C. 7 governors appointed by the president and confirmed by the Senate. This gives the appearance of government control. But it's an illusion.